Every single person in this room has dreams, big dreams. A better life, more success, more freedom, more purpose. But here's the problem. Most people are not stopped by failure. They are stopped by comfort, because laziness doesn't arrive looking dangerous. It arrives looking harmless. Just 5 more minutes, maybe tomorrow. I'll start when I feel ready. And slowly days become months, months become years, and one day people wake up realizing they spent their entire life waiting instead of living. The question is not whether you are talented. The question is, can you win the battle against the version of yourself that keeps choosing comfort over growth? Because the moment you learn to escape laziness, you don't just change your habits. You take back control of your future. And today, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. Most people think laziness is simply about not working hard enough. They believe it's about sleeping too much, wasting time on the phone, avoiding responsibilities, or refusing to put in effort. But laziness is much deeper than that. Laziness is dangerous because it quietly steals your potential while making you feel comfortable at the same time. That's why so many people never realize how much damage it is causing until years of their life have already disappeared. Every person is born with potential. Every person has something inside them that could change their future. Some people have talent. Some have creativity. Some have intelligence. Others have leadership, discipline, vision, or courage. But none of these things matter if a person constantly chooses comfort over action. Potential means nothing without execution. The world is full of talented people who never became successful because they allowed laziness to control their decisions. Laziness does not always look obvious. Sometimes lazy people appear busy. They talk about goals all the time. They make plans. They watch motivational videos. They imagine a better future. But imagination without action changes nothing. There are people who spend years saying they want to become successful, healthier, richer, or stronger. But they never take consistent action. And the truth is brutal. Your life changes only when your actions change. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And eventually, opportunities disappear. Time is one thing in life that never waits for anyone. Every day you delay your growth. Someone else is moving ahead. Someone else is learning new skills, building discipline, improving their mindset, and creating the future you keep dreaming about. Laziness slowly destroys confidence. Every time you avoid something important, your mind notices it. Every promise you break to yourself weakens your self-respect. When you say you will wake up early but keep hitting snooze, your brain learns that your words cannot be trusted. When you say you will work on your goals but spend hours scrolling on social media instead, your confidence begins to collapse. Confidence is not built by talking. Confidence is built by keeping promises to yourself. People often wait to feel motivated before taking action. That mindset keeps millions trapped. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you will feel excited, but many days you will not. Successful people understand something that lazy people ignore. Action comes first, motivation comes later. The hardest part is starting. Once you begin moving, energy follows, momentum follows, progress follows. Laziness also creates regret, and regret is one of the heaviest emotions a human being can carry. Imagine reaching the end of your life knowing you could have done more, become more, achieved more, but you allowed distractions and comfort to control you. That pain is far worse than temporary struggle. Hard work hurts for a moment. Regret hurts forever. Comfort is addictive. The human mind naturally wants what feels easy. It wants entertainment instead of effort. It wants instant pleasure instead of long-term rewards. That's why discipline feels difficult at first. Discipline forces you to do what is necessary even when you don't feel like doing it. Lazy people follow feelings. Successful people follow commitments. The dangerous thing about laziness is that it kills dreams silently. Failure at least teaches lessons. Failure means you tried. But laziness prevents people from even entering the fight. It convinces people to stay average while making excuses sound reasonable. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. I'll do it later. These excuses feel harmless, but repeated daily, they slowly destroy ambition. Social media has made laziness even more dangerous. People spend hours watching other people succeed while doing nothing to improve their own lives. They consume motivation instead of creating action. Watching success is not the same as building success. Inspiration means nothing if it never turns into discipline. There are people with fewer resources, less talent, and more problems who still succeed because they refuse to stay comfortable. They understand that growth requires discomfort. Muscles grow through resistance. Minds grow through challenges. Character grows through struggle. Everything valuable in life demands effort. Your future is being shaped by what you do daily, not occasionally. Small habits may seem insignificant, but repeated over time, they become your identity. 1 hour wasted every day becomes weeks lost every year. Imagine what could happen if those hours were invested into learning, training, building, reading, or improving yourself. Many people underestimate how powerful consistency really is. They think success comes from giant moments, but most success is built quietly through repeated effort. Waking up early when you don't want to, finishing work when nobody is watching, staying focused when distractions are everywhere. These small moments determine who wins in life. Laziness weakens not only your future, but also your mindset. The more you avoid difficult things, the weaker your mental strength becomes. Challenges begin to feel overwhelming because you train yourself to escape discomfort instead of facing it. But every time you push yourself to act despite resistance, your mind becomes stronger. Nobody is coming to rescue you from your potential being wasted. No perfect moment is coming. No magical burst of motivation will suddenly transform your life. Change begins the moment you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility. Even small action is more powerful than endless planning. You do not need to become perfect overnight. You simply need to stop surrendering to the habits that are destroying your future. Every day is a new opportunity to choose discipline over comfort, action over excuses, and growth over stagnation. Because the longer laziness controls your life, the more potential it steals from the person you were truly capable of becoming. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for the perfect moment to begin. They wait to feel inspired. They wait to feel confident. They wait to feel ready. And while they are waiting, life keeps moving forward without them. Dreams remain dreams because action never happens. This is one of the biggest traps people fall into, believing that motivation must come before action. The truth is, motivation is unreliable. Some mornings you wake up energized and focused. Other mornings you feel tired, distracted, and unmotivated. If your success depends only on how you feel, your progress will always be inconsistent. Feelings change constantly. Discipline does not. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not always motivated. They simply learn how to act regardless of emotion. Many people misunderstand successful individuals. They think successful people wake up every day excited and full of energy. They imagine discipline feels natural to them, but the reality is completely different. Successful people get tired too. They have bad days too. They experience doubt, fear, stress, and frustration just like everyone else. The difference is they do not allow temporary emotions to control permanent goals. Waiting for motivation is dangerous because it trains your mind to depend on emotion instead of commitment. It teaches you to work only when things feel easy. But life will never always feel easy. There will be days when your body wants rest, your mind wants distractions, and your emotions want comfort. Those are the moments that define who you truly are. Think about athletes who train for championships. They do not train only when they feel inspired. Some days their muscles ache. Some days they feel exhausted. Yet they continue because they understand something powerful. Consistency matters more than emotion. The same principle applies to every area of life. Whether you want success in business, fitness, education, or personal growth, progress comes from repeated action, not temporary excitement. Motivation creates starts. Discipline creates results. One of the biggest reasons people fail is because they overestimate motivation and underestimate habits. They rely on emotional bursts instead of building systems. They become excited after watching a motivational video, but a few days later they return to old patterns. Why? Because motivation fades quickly. Habits stay. Your habits shape your future more than your feelings ever will. If you wake up every day and automatically choose distractions, comfort, and procrastination, your life will reflect those choices. But if you build habits of action, focus, and consistency, your life begins to transform even on the days you do not feel motivated. Action itself creates motivation. This is what most people fail to understand. You do not wait to feel ready before starting. You start first, and the feeling follows. Once you begin moving, your energy changes. Momentum builds confidence. Progress creates excitement. But none of that happens until action begins. Imagine pushing a heavy car. The hardest part is getting it moving from a complete stop. At first, it feels impossible. But once the car starts moving, momentum makes it easier to keep going. Your mind works the same way. Starting is often the hardest part. That's why successful people focus on beginning, even if they start small. Lazy people negotiate with themselves constantly. They say things like, "I'll do it later," or "I don't feel ready today." They wait for the perfect mood that never arrives. Meanwhile, disciplined people understand that action cannot depend on feelings. They train themselves to move even when resistance appears. There will never be a perfect time to change your life. There will always be distractions, stress, uncertainty, and excuses available. If you continue waiting for perfect conditions, you will stay stuck forever. Growth begins when you decide that your goals matter more than your temporary comfort. Fear also causes people to wait for motivation. Sometimes people avoid action because they are afraid of failure, judgment, or disappointment. Waiting becomes a way to protect themselves from discomfort. But avoiding action does not protect your future. It destroys it slowly. Every opportunity ignored becomes another reminder of unrealized potential. The human brain naturally seeks pleasure and avoids pain. That's why scrolling through social media feels easier than working on goals. That's why entertainment feels more attractive than discipline. Your mind wants immediate rewards, even when those rewards are damaging your future. This is why self-control matters so much. Success often requires choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasure. The people who transform their lives understand that small actions matter. They do not wait for giant bursts of inspiration. They focus on daily effort, reading a few pages, exercising for 1 hour, practicing one skill, waking up earlier, staying focused longer. These small actions seem ordinary, but repeated consistently, they create extraordinary results. Many people waste years studying success instead of practicing it. They consume endless information but avoid execution. Knowledge without action changes nothing. You can read every motivational book in the world, but if you refuse to take action, your life will remain the same. There is also power in learning how to work through discomfort. Every meaningful goal requires sacrifice. There will be moments when discipline feels painful, but avoiding discomfort only creates greater pain later. Temporary struggle builds strength. Constant avoidance builds weakness. The moment you stop depending on motivation, you become dangerous in the best possible way, because now your progress is no longer controlled by emotion. You become someone who acts with purpose instead of excuses, someone who keeps moving even on difficult days, someone who understands that success belongs to those who continue long after motivation disappears. Your future does not care about how inspired you feel today. It responds only to the actions you repeat consistently. Every day you have a choice: wait for motivation or create momentum through action. One path leads to regret, wasted potential, and frustration. The other path leads to growth, confidence, and transformation. Most people think discipline is a punishment. They see it as restriction, pressure, or suffering. They believe discipline takes away freedom because it forces them to follow rules, routines, and responsibilities. But the truth is completely opposite. Discipline does not destroy freedom. Discipline creates it. Without discipline, people become trapped by distractions, bad habits, weakness, and regret. Every person wants freedom. Freedom to live the life they dream about. Freedom to travel, succeed, grow, and make choices without fear. But freedom is never built through laziness or excuses. Freedom is earned through consistent discipline. The people who control their habits eventually control their future. Look at someone who lacks discipline in health. They eat whatever they want, avoid exercise, and ignore their body for years. At first, that lifestyle feels comfortable and free. They can sleep whenever they want, consume unhealthy food, and avoid physical effort. But over time, that lack of discipline steals their freedom. Their energy disappears. Their health declines. Their confidence weakens. Eventually, their body controls them instead of the other way around. The same thing happens financially. People without discipline spend money carelessly, avoid planning, and chase instant pleasure. In the beginning, it feels enjoyable. Buying unnecessary things feels rewarding in the moment. But years later, stress, debt, and financial pressure remove their freedom completely. They become trapped in situations they could have avoided through discipline. Discipline is the ability to control yourself even when your feelings try to pull you in another direction. It means doing what needs to be done regardless of comfort. And that ability changes everything. Because once you learn to control yourself, the world becomes less capable of controlling you. Most people are slaves to emotion. If they feel tired, they quit. If they feel bored, they stop. If something becomes difficult, they escape into distractions. Their life is controlled by temporary moods instead of long-term vision. Discipline breaks that cycle. Discipline teaches you how to act with purpose instead of reacting emotionally. Freedom without discipline becomes chaos. Imagine giving someone complete freedom with no self-control, no responsibility, and no structure. Instead of building a meaningful life, many people would destroy themselves through addiction, procrastination, and wasted time. Real freedom requires self-mastery. The military understands this principle deeply. Soldiers are trained with strict discipline, routines, and structure not to control them permanently, but to prepare them for situations where survival depends on self-control. Discipline builds mental strength. It creates stability under pressure. It trains people to continue moving forward even when conditions become difficult. The same principle applies in everyday life. A disciplined person can stay focused while others become distracted. A disciplined person can continue working while others give up. A disciplined person can resist short-term temptation because they are focused on long-term rewards. People often admire successful individuals without understanding the price.